The other things so I'm gonna create clipping drawings based on this. But before I do that, I just wanna uh, look at sort of like all these layers that I created before. So um, these are the clipping drawings that I created earlier. So for the floor plan that I have this. So these things are actually still connected to the clipping plane over there for the floor plans. So if I were to move the clipping plane for the floor plan, this gets updated. So it's always good to have these drawings somewhere, but like, since this file is about the sections, I really don't need them. So, and these things have a way of making the file really heavy. So I'm just gonna delete all of this, and I want to delete the objects as well as the layers. So yes to all. So now that's kind of slightly um, better in terms of the floors. And then we have the hybrid drawings. Maybe that's okay. This is not too bad, but you can also, delete this from this section render file as well, if that's not something that we need. Yeah, so then I'm gonna go back to the clipping plane for the section over here to enable the drawings section clipping plane over here. And then I'm going to type clipping drawings, enter, and select this clipping plane, enter. Now it's asks for there's certain options. This add background, it should be always yes. If this is no, left click to turn that to yes. And then I can just select that, left click that somewhere over here to create drawings for the sections. And I can see that from top view, and generally seems okay. And again, so if I look at this, so all of this is in this layer, section 1 layer, which is the name of the clipping plane. So then there are layers for the background. So the background includes the visible and hidden. So the hidden is these dash lines that's not visible in those sections. So in general, we don't really need those hidden. So I'm going to turn that off. But these visible lines on the visible layers, we definitely want to have that here. And I just realized um, I forgot to hide the doors over here. So that's something I have to remember. And then the other things is these drawing curve layer have all the, well, okay, so drawing hatch layer over here. This has all the lines for the hatch, uh, which is good. uh, yeah. And then we also have this drawing curve. So this is the lines that's cutting through. So this will be most of them has to be represented as a heavy layers over here. Yeah, and Solid doesn't really have anything at the moment for us. Yeah, so that's kind of like what we got at this moment. And what I'm going to do is I'm gonna select all of these lines over here, right click. And if you want it, you can have this hidden as a part of that too. Select all these layers. Well, unlock all the layers first, and then select all the layers, right click, um, duplicate layer and object, and click yes to all. That creates whole another set of the copied layers. Select all the copied layer, right click, select object over here, and then move that copied drawings to down here. And now with this, we can start assigning the line weights. And so first things I can do is probably the select this hatch over here and select object. And I'm going to move that to this hatch over here, hatch layer over here, change object layers. So I'm gonna turn that off to make sure just like that's over there. And then I'm gonna double click on this view over here. And this view really should be top view over here. And, uh, yeah, so then there are kind of like multiple lines for the ground over here, which comes from, combination of the elevations and the ground lines. So I'm going to look at it in perspective, kind of like this over here. So this ground lines over here is actually this line over here. And this line at the bottom is like what we see in the elevations. So like that means I don't really need this, or I don't need it to show any of these lines in elevations for the ground. I don't I don't want to show that. And so looking at this lines over here as well. So this line where we are cutting through is actually this line here. So I don't need the line that's at the bottom. So I'm going to actually delete all these lines over there as well as this lines. Uh, oops. Uh, as well. I'm going to delete this line over there and that. So then for this line, I just have to trim them, some TL, enter for the trim command, and I'm going to select this line here, um, enter, and trim this line over here. I'm going to do the same things over here as well, and trim that. And that's kind of one things first I would like to do. And I would like to, so if I hide the wall hatch over here, um, actually I'm going to just delete that. Yeah, so I actually want to create kind of like continuous line that separates the what's above the ground cutting lines to the building structures in some ways. So to do that, so I would like to kind of like show kind of like this, the line goes up and we can almost go around like this to show the separation between the buildings and the ground. There are two ways to do it. So like you could keep this bottom portions of it, and then this ground cutting line goes around like this, right? And kind of like this, which is, you know, it's okay, but I don't know. I kind of don't like how that looks. So I'm just gonna not do that. And so that means I'm going to kind of uh delete those lines over here and trim some of these lines to start with. And what I'm trying to do over here is to create this lines that over here as a sort of like ground lines over here, and I'm going to join them, and I'm going to put that into heavy layer, but I'm gonna create a new layer that's called heavy ground. And I'm going to change object layers for that, and just say orange maybe. Yeah, so then like you would have this continuous line that's like to define the sort of ground structures, let's just say ground lines, even though part of the building structure is becoming ground lines. I think that's okay. um yeah, so then next things I would do is to uh select the cut lines. So this is the curve, that lines on the curve layer over here. I'm going to select this, and that needs to show up as a heavy lines over here. So right click, change object layers, and all of that is in heavy. So I'm going to hide this. I'm going to hide that, and as well as wall hatch. And then so for now, for rest of all these drawings, the lines over here, I'm going to put that in light layer over here. Okay. And if I bring everything back, and I would have to select everything, go to the properties, and change this to display color to by layers over here, and that's kind of shows up a little bit better. Okay, so then in conditions like this, over here, this line is cut lines over here, heavy lines, but actually I want that heavy line to be kind of going over like this. So just like how I did it in the floor plans, I'm going to clean up these sections. So then we can probably take a look at it afterwards. And also the windows over here, that's usually at the medium light layers over here. So I'm going to uh, change that layers kind of like this. And so over here, I'm gonna actually select all these lines over here, type X for to explode all the layers that's connected. And then I'm going to type split, select this line. I want to split this line at this point and that point. So enter and select these two lines for the lines to separate. So then now I can put this into the light layer, change object layers. So then, so this goes into heavy. So is this heavy? And then I'm going to split this line at that point. Put it, enter, select this, enter, select this as a cut object to cut this line, enter. Now I can just select this portion of the line over here. And then I'm going to change that to right. Change object layers. So now there is a continuity in here where it's the heavy line is going around like this, and the lines in betweens, they are portrayed as a light lightweight. Yeah, so I'm going to do that kind of like everywhere. So yeah, split this. Okay, so I kind of went over all the lines and I forgot this. Assign the layers. So now it looks like the heavy lines are kind of going around where it cuts, and the lines inside of those geometries, like these lines, even though these are actually you're cutting through the materials, I'm assigning it to be light layers, so that when you see it through wall hatch, that you kind of see that profile of the staircase and walls uh, kind of clearly. You can read them. And looks like I forgot to get some of these lines over here. So I'm going to do that now. Bring it to the heavy lines and spreading some of these lines with so that I can assign the light layers. Also, this might be actually, uh, yeah, okay, so that looks okay. So this is right. Okay. The other things is I forgot to turn off the doors over here for this closet. So I'm just going to delete that because we don't really want to cut through the doors in sections. So it will kind of looks like this. The other things is sometimes you might find these lines over here. This comes through the because part of this the floor is I separated from the rest of the floor, so that's what we are seeing over here. So that's part of the lino construction, right? So I'm just gonna delete that. And these things are okay to delete, and these lines I'm keeping them so that because technically the vertical wall and the floors are different elements, so this I think is okay to keep them. This is a similar logic for the door frame as well. This is the door frame. This line comes from the door frame because this is a door frame over here. So I'm keeping that because that line separates the different materials between the wall and the door frame. Yeah. So that's kind of like what I got going on at the moment. Okay, so then the other things I have to do is to create the outlines over here throughout the building. So I'm going to uh, make the medium layer as a current layer and create this rectangle. I'm just going to create this rectangle somewhere a little bit wide like this, and then type curve boolean. And I'm going to kind of select everything over here and then click over here and click over here and enter. Now I'm going to type join them. Oops. Now I'm going to, I guess that's already joined. Uh, so this is the line that I wanted to have. And this time I would like to keep this rectangle frame as well. So both of these outline of the buildings and this frame, rectangle frame as well, should be on this medium layer. Yeah. Okay, so that looks fine. Yeah. So then I think that's kind of like what we want to see for this buildings. And I can start to uh, look at a little bit more things in detail. There's like a few things that we might want to look at it. One of the things is the doors. So if we look at this, oh, I just realized this is a door that I forgot to hide. So this is not here either. But when we look at the doors over here in elevations, so like we want to show how this door opens. In general architectural drawing conventions, it's kind of let's see. So it would kind of look like this. So this is just the image that I just found. But in the doors, this dash line indicates the direction that door opens. So this is a double door that kind of opens. So it means this means the door hinge is on this side and doorknob is somewhere over here. So the door will kind of open kind of like this. Same things over here. Door hinge will be over here. Door handle will be somewhere over here. So this door will kind of open like this. So that's one way to kind of regular conventions of how you might show the doors. But in this assignment, like I don't really want to do that. I thought I'm just going to draw a doorknob over here. So then to do that, I'm going to offset this line that's representing the floor by 3 feet. So let's see if I select this line, move it up, and I'm gonna offset this line over here by 2.5 inches. Let's just say 2.5. over here. So then that's what this is the location of the doorknob could be. I'm going to type C for the circle, left click on this, and then create the diameter of, let's just say 3 inches or 2.5 inches, 2.5 inches. And that is the doorknob for us. And this is I'm gonna put this on a light layer over here. And that's kind of like how I wanna show the door over here. And I can do the same things for this door as well. So I'm just going to select this, copy, and from this point to this point, and I can select this type MI for mirror, and I'm just going to mirror that. So then this door, so this one would open kind of like this one would open kind of like this. Yeah, so that's kind of like how I would like to see that. And yeah, yeah. So the other things is oh yeah, the other things is this hatch for the ground. I'm just going to not have this. So I'm just going to delete that so that I can just kind of see it like this. I think this is fine. And you can keep the ground hatch as well, but in that case, like you would have to, have the line that's defining the the part of the wall or the ground floor as well. But I don't want to show that. I don't want to have that in my drawing, so I'm just gonna delete that. And it looks like there's like extra lines over here. That's weird. So I'm just gonna delete that. Yeah.